Let's be honest. Some days it feels like survival mode is our default setting. You wake up, rush the kids, juggle a million things, and by the time you sit down, it's 9 o'clock at night and you're wondering where your own life went. If you've ever felt like that, like you're living in a constant loop of get it done or get through it on repeat, this episode is for you. Because I want to remind you that we are not made to just survive. You were made to thrive, even in the chaos. Hey, I'm Jennifer Kwapis, and if you're new here, we drop these real live pep talks every week. So hit that subscribe button so you don't miss one. Okay, ladies, I know you can picture this one, but one morning I woke up and realized I had been living in autopilot, like coffee, work, dinner, kids' sports, homework, bedtime. I'd crash, and then I would repeat the cycle all over again the next day, day after day. My life looked like a to do list, not a life. I even remember one night eating a granola bar over my kitchen sink because I didn't even have time to have a sit down dinner. And I thought, when did surviving become the standard? And that moment was my wake up call because I realized that thriving isn't some huge magical transformation. It's made up of small daily choices that remind you that you are human, not a machine. So, how do we recognize when we're in survival mode? Survival mode feels like being constantly on edge, like you're behind before you even start. Your brain's running 24/7, you're snapping more easily, and even fun can feel like a chore. Here's the thing, it's not your fault. Women are juggling so much: home, kids, work, expectations, emotional labor. It's no wonder we feel like we're drowning. But the first step to thriving is awareness. You can't change what you don't notice. So start by asking, what's draining me the most right now? What feels heavy? Write it down. Just naming it can be powerful. Next, create tiny pockets of joy. You don't need an expensive self care day to feel alive again. But, girl, if you can, then do. Sometimes thriving, though, starts with 5 quiet minutes in the car before you walk inside the house, or blasting your favorite 2000s throwback song while folding laundry. I'm serious. I've had full on Pink concerts in my kitchen. And by the end, my mood is totally different. And research actually backs this up. Studies show that small, intentional moments of joy reduce stress hormones, improve sleep, and boost motivation. So you don't need more time. You need more moments that fill you up. Next, reconnect with purpose. When we're stuck in grind mode, we lose sight of why we're doing what we're doing. Thriving means finding meaning again, even in the mundane. Ask yourself, what part of my day makes me feel most like me? Is it when I'm creating something, laughing with my kids, helping someone, or just having quiet time? That's your clue. Do more of that. Your purpose doesn't have to be a big career move or a new project. Sometimes it's just remembering you're allowed to enjoy your life, not just manage it. So, next, let go of guilt and rest without earning it. What? I'm going to repeat that one for my ladies in the back. Let go of guilt and rest without earning it. This one is huge. Thriving women rest on purpose, not because they've earned it, but because their body and minds deserve it. You are a thriving woman. You deserve rest, and it is okay to take it guilt free. Spend the time on the couch, scroll through your phone, read the book, take the meaningless, meandering walk down a trail and get some fresh air. Survival mode tricks you into thinking productivity equals worth, but thriving, It comes when you rest, recharge, and give yourself permission to just be. If you need a mantra, try this. Rest is productive. Joy is productive. Peace is productive. Next, we need to build connection because it is medicine, like medicine all the way to our cores and in our souls. And when you're in survival mode, you start isolating. You cancel plans. You tell yourself that you'll text that friend later. But really, connection is what will pull you out of that fog. Harvard's long term happiness study found that the number one predictor of joy and longevity isn't money or success, it's relationships, real ones, the ones where you can show up messy and still be loved. So, listen, you guys, you need to schedule that coffee, call your sister, meet a friend, even if your hair's in a bun and you're in leggings. And I've talked about this in other episodes, and I truly mean it. Like when I feel myself not being my best self, when I start snapping and I can tell that that rope is short, I call a friend. I'm like, hey, want to do dinner? Want to grab a drink? Can you meet up this weekend? And I tell you, it recharges me like nothing else can. You know what else can or should be able to recharge you like that? Your spouse. Schedule a date night. Go for a walk with your spouse, just the two of you. Don't talk about kids. Don't talk about finances of the house. Just be you. Let him be himself. Remember what it's like to be a whole ass woman, to be in love, to flirt, to talk about the little things and nothing at all. It's so important because thriving happens when we're seen as humans for who we are, for what we're going through, for where we're at in the moment. And it's okay to not always have it all together. It's okay to share that with somebody, and you need to in order to thrive instead of survive. Here's the science part. Chronic stress from constant survival mode keeps your body in fight or flight, which means that your cortisol is higher, your sleep is disrupted, and your energy is lower. Check, check, and check. Totally how we feel when we're just running through a rampant cycle constantly. I feel exhausted, don't you? Do you sleep well? Because I know I don't. I go to put my head down at night and my brain doesn't turn off. There's even been times where I wake up at 3 a.m. and I'm like, oh my God, did Reed put his binder in his backpack? Should I get up and go do it now? Because I'm leaving for work early and I won't even see him in the morning. And will I remember it in the morning? Like my brain just has a hard time being at ease. But when you laugh, when you connect, when you move your bodies in ways that you enjoy, your brain releases serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin, which are your feel good chemicals. Those literally rewire your brain towards balance and joy. Translation: fun is healing, laughter is medicine, and rest is power. Think about a time in your life when you were in survival mode. Maybe you're in survival mode right now, and this is your wake up call. But when I think back to like truly being in this perpetual loop in survival mode, it's when my kids were babies. And I hope when I say that that resonates with you and doesn't make me sound like a terrible mother, because I want to make one thing really clear. Being in this survival mode doesn't mean your life is unhappy or doesn't have meaning or that you're miserable. It just means you're not making time for the things that fill your cup and that really bring you joy. Does taking care of your children bring you joy? Yeah, absolutely. Like you love them with everything that you are, but you were a person before you were a mom. So what things did you do that brought you joy then? Because those are probably some of the things you need to do now. And they can look totally different. Because listen, putting on a pair of high heels, looking super hot, and going out and dancing at the club till I was dripping in sweat for hours on end used to bring me joy. And I promise you today, that is not even close to the thing that would bring me joy. But you get my point. And going back to my previous point, Just because I felt like I was in perpetual survival mode when my kids were babies doesn't mean that I wasn't happy or didn't love them with everything that I was. Doesn't mean that I wouldn't go back and do it all over again. People have multiple children. We do it over and over again. But I will tell you, if you stop and think, you were exhausted. You were on a schedule. Your baby needed to be on that schedule. Your sleep was awful, sometimes non existent. You were exhausted. You hardly had time to probably take a decent shower, wash your hair, make yourself feel presentable, nor did you care because you were in deep survival mode, or at least that's how I felt. I was a full time working mom and I had two young babies. I had my babies 2 years apart. And that's okay. And it was wonderful, but it was survival mode. I am not in any sort of denial about that. And if I go back and think about those times and how tired I felt, or even looking at pictures of myself, I'm like, oh, girl, yeah, you had babies. You were tired. You were not your first priority. You were not even your second, third, fourth, or fifth priority. I, compounding on top of having my first baby, was also taking care of my sick mother who had cancer. So that was a whole nother level of hard and exhaustion and putting myself on the back burner. So I recognize that. However, being that I'm approaching 40, and a lot of people that listen to this show are also approaching 40 or into their 40s, maybe even their 50s, you may start to come upon that time in your life where you might have to start taking care of an elderly or sick parent. All the while, you may not have a baby, but you have children, and managing both things is truly got to be one of the hardest things that you can struggle with in life. Um, and yeah, sorry, that came out the way it came out, struggle with, because it is a struggle. It is very difficult to try and be all the things at one time, be the caregiver, be the parent, be a spouse, be a friend, be an employee. Trying to be everywhere at once just spreads you way too thin. And so if you're in this state of your life, I see you. I know how hard it is. I still wish somebody would have shaken me and told me and stressed to me that joy was still okay. It is still okay for you to make time for yourself, to feel joy, to feel happiness, and to put some time and energy into yourself. Again, it doesn't have to be a vacation, a big spa day, or anything out of the ordinary. It really just needs to be those simple moments that you are incorporating into your daily life that make you pause, take a deep breath, and recharge yourself. It might be you have 20 minutes and either you could go to the store and pick up those groceries that you know you need, or you could just sit down, take a deep breath, call a friend and catch up, or read a book and put your feet up. And that might just be all that it takes to give you that recharge and still make you feel like you're thriving amongst all the chaos, because it is possible. You just have to be cognizant of it. So here's what I want you to take away from today. Thriving isn't about a perfect morning routine or a fancy planner. Please, I hope you understand that I have these messages and I share this stuff with you, not because I am like thriving and perfect and do everything wonderfully in my life. In fact, just the opposite. I have been in many places, I have gone through many things, and I want to share anything that may help you or remind you to help yourself. Those are the points of my messages. And I know I'm saying thrive, don't survive. And if you were to just hear that without listening to this entire podcast, you'd probably be like, yeah, fuck you. Like, I'm listening to this on my way to work. I have to go home and make dinner. I have to pack my kid's sports bag, get them to practice, then pick this kid up from their friend's house. Like, I get it. I am there. I'm in the thick of it with you. But you still matter. Your health still matters. And being the best version of yourself definitely matters. So if I can just be that little voice of reason that says, hey, take 5 minutes and sit in your car and jam your favorite song before you pull back in your driveway and walk in your house, because it's going to recharge you and allow you to go inside and be a mother who isn't on the end of her rope, who's going to snap at her kids the first moment something goes wrong, or you found out they forgot their homework in their locker, or whatever it may be. You know what I'm talking about. That's what I mean when I say let's thrive, not survive. I'm not asking you to make any huge life changes. Just be aware that you deserve to be happy and still live your day-to-day life with joy inside of it, because life truly is too short to just be on this groundhog's day perpetual cycle, and not having a laugh or taking a rest or sharing it with people that you love and care about. Okay, you're allowed to live life while taking care of everybody else, not after. I'm going to say that one more time. You're allowed to live your life while taking care of everyone else, not after you've taken care of everyone else. And this week, I want you to pick one tiny thing that brings you joy and do it without guilt. That's your first step out of survival mode and into thriving. If this episode hit home, drop your biggest takeaways below in the comments, please. It helps the algorithm and it helps the show reach other women and mamas just like you. Tell me one way you're choosing to thrive this week. I would love to hear it and have you share it with us. And if you love these real talk moments, please make sure you hit subscribe wherever you listen. It helps this podcast grow, and I really appreciate it. I love you all. Remember, you're doing better than you think, and we'll see you next time.